Hey everyone! I thought I'd do a little impromptu video on 4 easy, really weird ways to get out of writer's block. So we've all been there, we've been writing, we've been in the flow, and then all of a sudden the flow suddenly stops and we aren't quite sure how to move forward. So step number 1 is focus on the sensory. A lot of writers tend to really get wrapped up on the blocking and the action of what the characters are physically doing, or what the characters are thinking, or what the characters are saying. And they kind of get blocked as if they're watching their book like a movie and they don't know what they are supposed to see next. Usually we tend to write too much blocking into our books when we're doing a first draft, and we tend to write too much thinking and too much dialogue. So getting out of that and focusing on the sensory details you can actually communicate a lot about the way a character thinks and even like changes the character is going through by the sensory details around them. So what are the senses? Obviously, sight is kind of overused a little bit, but smell, hearing, like sounds, touch, and taste, those are ones that tend to be a little bit underused. So look at your page and ask yourself what sensory detail is not being used on that particular page you're writing. Do you not have any smells on that page? Do you not have any sounds on that page? Do you not have any taste on that page? Do you not have any touch, sensory details, texture on that page? Then that's a great way to start. Okay, so my next sentence is going to be about the one sensory detail that I haven't established yet. And once you put that sensory detail in, all of a sudden that's going to trigger so many feelings in your brain, so many thoughts in your brain about what that character is going through, and it will unblock you from that focus on the action and the dialogue and the blocking and what characters are physically doing in the scene. So step 1, focus on what is the next sensory detail you can include in your manuscript. Step 2, or tip 2, I should say, is, this is really random, but find a sentence randomly, ideally not from something that's been published recently, that you can get some inspiration from. And a great place to go is Google Books, and ideally searching for like historical sentences, because you don't run any risk of accidentally stealing something from someone. But another place to go is Shakespeare. And there is this website that's an open source Shakespeare search engine. And so you can go on here and search for a word, orange. I literally, like, the first word that came to my mind was orange, so I threw in orange. And so all of a sudden I come to your orange tawny beard. Hey, that's fine. Can you throw an orange tawny beard into your manuscript somewhere? Just honestly, just scrolling down all of these Shakespeare sentences that have the one word that came to your mind is going to trigger something in your brain. So research for random words in Shakespeare. Horse. And see what comes up. And you'll probably find a sentence that will inspire you. I'm not saying steal the sentence. I'm saying, like, get inspired by the sentence. Look at the sentence. What do you like about the sentence? Do you like the word tawny and orange tawny? Then steal the word tawny and put it in your sentence somewhere. Or just rearrange the words so that you took Shakespeare's sentence, but you turned it into your own sentence, right? So you're just getting inspiration from it. Okay, and now step number 3, or tip number 3, is random verb generator. And random verb generator is also found on the internet, and it is here in my tab. And what random verb generator gives you is verbs, obviously. So why are verbs important? Verbs are actually like the thing that can get your sentence moving, because people can verbs are like the action people take, right? So verbs are like the tactics they're using. So someone can gather their thoughts, someone can attack someone with their words. Verbs, and that's the problem. Like a lot of us just are kind of lazy sometimes with our verb usage. So if you just throw up some random verb generators and scroll through them, you're like, okay, my next sentence is going to have the word regret. Not regret as in a noun, but regret as in a verb. Okay, and my fourth random tip is random noun generator. So this is probably something that can be combined with your open source Shakespeare, and search for a random noun, right? That can be used as a metaphor, as a simile, and as a sensory description of some sort, and throw it into the next sentence of your manuscript. And something else that you can do with this is go on Google Books, and this is using it kind of the same way that you would use the open source Shakespeare. Go on Google Books, type in a phrase, and this is, as a historical writer, this is something I struggle with all the time, is using similes and metaphors that are historically accurate. Like as a modern type of person, I tend to use, modern contemporary things like he was as tall as a skyscraper. But if I'm writing in a historical setting and maybe they don't have skyscrapers, I need to figure out some other historically accurate way to describe, either in simile or metaphor, what that thing is that I'm describing. So going on Google Books and typing in like a portion of a sentence, like he smelled like, and then doing a little search, and then change the time period to 19th century. And Google Books has stuff all the way from like the 1600s. So you can do a custom range and type in 1600s and you can find things. So I like this one. He smelled like a goat. I love it. I would steal it. He smelled like old gin. Also love it. He smelled like a smoked herring. All good stuff. He smelled like a muskrat. Love it. Okay, so those are my 4 weird tips for getting out of writer's block. I hope they've been helpful. And even though I was saying things like look for inspiration in other people's texts and look at Shakespeare and look at Google Books, don't straight up steal like full like on sentences from other people, especially if they're like really original, because that's plagiarism. You don't do that, but you get inspiration from it. And I can't repeat that enough, because I just don't want people to say, Carly told me to plagiarize. That's not what I'm telling you to do. Don't do that. Don't plagiarize. Okay. So I hope this was helpful. And if you guys have any other things that you want tips on, writing wise, put them in the comments. And if you like this channel and the content, go ahead and hit the subscribe, hit the little bell to receive notifications, and yeah, comment and give it a like and all that stuff. Okay, I will talk to you all soon.